Well, howdy, y'all. We've arrived at the Laramie Ranch, and shoo-wee, there sure are a lot of new Pokemon moseying about. We best be listening to the podcast to find out what they all are. Yee-haw!
Hey, I'm Veronica Taylor.
And I'm Rena Taylor.
And this is
The Trainer's Guide. Today's episode,
The Flame Pokémon-Athon.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 32.
we are moseying our way through the season, for
Into
sure.
the western wilds of Pokemon,
Yes.
which is very exciting. We have been on a gigantic journey ourselves. We've been, to Manila. We stopped off in Sydney, and now we're in Auckland.
Yes.
And I have to say, our heroes don't seem to ever tire of being on the road. Certainly, they love meeting new people, as do we. But I think we could, to sleep in our own beds again.
Yeah, I
Might be
think
nice.
we need a little home cooking. I don't know. I'd love to learn some tips from Ash, Misty, and Brock to see how they do it. Maybe because they're constantly, like each day, they're being challenged in a different way.
Right. But
Maybe
their
that's
luggage
part of it,
is a
too.
lot lighter than ours.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, they don't really have that much
No,
to carry.
they
so.
don't. And so they have no hair products or brushes
That's
even.
true. Yeah, and Ash's hair just sticks straight out.
Exactly.
And Misty looked great in ponytails. So
That's right.
she doesn't really need a lot of hair care.
Mm-mm.
Or
So I
we
think we could learn from that for sure.
That is the dream. Also, it's interesting. We're kind of entering into a Western theme here. We're in the safari zone. And in Auckland right now, it is cold. It's the beginning we're in the thick of winter right now. So it is a very different feeling to this episode. I feel like recently we've kind of had episodes that correlate with what we're doing. Like it really works out that kind of where we are is a little bit like where Ash, Misty, and Brock are. But today, that's not the case.
Well, we've been in summer, winter,
Yeah.
back and forth. And I think, at least within the Orange Islands, it's pretty much kind of spring to summer all the time.
Yeah, that's true. I think, we haven't gotten any like big seasonal shift yet.
They've not been wearing any puffy coats like we have.
Just sleeping bags.
That's
We've
right,
just seen.
sleeping bags.
Yeah.
And we do see a little sleeping bag action in this
I know.
episode. Our team has entered into the safari zone, and they are shaken as the ground is shaking by a herd of Tauros
Yes.
coming towards them.
Tauros come and Ash. I think this is kind of what we said in the beginning for the little intro. There are a lot of new Pokemon in this episode, and we're getting into some kind of different. We're in a different zone, so we're getting different Pokemon. So we see
Totally.
the Tauros,
Totally different zone.
totally, and they are like a Tauros. But what would you say? Like a bull
type
Pokemon.
Pokemon with 3 tails.
Yeah.
And I think I
like a
read some.
herd.
Yes, and they always are herding around and running. This one thing I read said that once the Tauros get going, they can't stop, and those 3 tails whip them into a frenzy.
Oh, interesting.
and
Because how would they stop?
I don't
then?
know. But isn't that true, though, that once any of us kind of really get going on something, it is hard to stop.
Yeah.
But it's the getting going that's the most difficult part.
That's true.
And so maybe if we had 3 tails to whip ourselves into a frenzy,
Dang,
we could
that's
get a
it.
move on.
That's what's missing. We need tails.
Maybe perhaps that's it.
That's the thing.
Well, this is the only tail you get.
Yes.
The tail. This is the tale of a Pokemon
Story.
traveler. Anyway, so
So Ash tries to battle them because that's what he does. Is has a one-track mind, and Pikachu doesn't want to battle, so Pikachu pretends to be asleep or something
with a little blanket covering it.
And then he gets Charmander to battle the Tauros, which I don't know how he thinks that Charmander could defeat a whole herd of Tauros, but I guess that shows that he's really confident in his Pokemon.
But lo and behold, a Growlithe
Yeah.
lands on Charmander.
Sits on Charmander.
I didn't realize it was a puppy Pokemon, that was a type.
Yeah, because it looks like a
A dog. I mean,
well, yeah, like a dog, or the coloring is kind of tigery.
mhm.
So I've never thought about it like that, but it does look like a dog, so that's true.
Well, I will say that I didn't know puppy was a type
Yeah.
in this. But
I
anyway.
didn't know Growlithe was so big.
Oh, right.
It's big.
Yes.
I thought to that point, I always thought of it as more of like a puppy size. Like
I see.
Charmander and Growlithe would be similar sizes.
Right. You have to put everything into perspective. Maybe that's
Yeah.
our lesson for today.
I think so, but it's a very big Pokemon. And we basically learn that this area of the Safari Zone or something is a ranch, the Laramie Ranch. It's a Pokemon reserve where the Pokemon are being raised without predators and stuff, and so they can become stronger and all that things. And we meet Lara Laramie.
Lara.
It
Oh,
changes.
Lara.
They call her
yeah.
Lara. They call her Lara. I
Yeah.
would like to call her Lara.
Let's
moving
keep
forward.
Lara in. No,
But-
Lara Laramie. Lara.
Lara.
So we'll go with Lara. So
Okay.
the accents in this one are Western Southern.
Yes.
So,
But
we
very
will
interesting.
we will stay away from that. But we'll go with Lara Laramie for the sake of this today.
Lara Laramie, and she helps run the Big P Pokémon Ranch.
and
which
she
I
has
find an interesting name.
Ponyta,
Mhm.
which of course begins with a P.
Yeah, lots of P
Mhm.
stuff
And they have
going on.
a big party, and they have a Pokemon race.
Yes.
There's a lot that's happening here at the Big P.
Yeah. Big P. So, we meet Lara and her Ponyta, and we find out that there's a race happening tomorrow. And so she goes, "You can come to the party, and you can come to the race, and the race is to see who's the best Pokemon, and then whoever wins becomes an honorary member of the Laramie clan."
I will say while we're chatting, if you hear an odd noise, they have chosen this time to vacuum the hall in
Yeah.
the hotel. So,
And we're going to keep going.
yeah, please bear with. But just so you know,
Just like Ash, we're
we
persevering.
keep going through all odds.
Yes.
So interestingly enough, a lad riding,
Oh, yeah.
a herd of Dodrio also come.
They appear.
Or Dodrio, as they are called in this episode.
It's a little hard with the accent. They are pronouncing things in a strange way. But we meet this other guy, Dario, or Dario.
Dario.
I think we'll call him Dario. But we meet Dario, and he is another trainer, and he is determined to win the race. And I find this a little interesting. I think if you're rewatching the episodes along with us, what I find so weird is that at the end of the first interaction of basically Lara and Dario, it's like, I don't know. I thought there was going to be some love happening there. Because, did you
Wow.
catch that? Because he's like, "I'm going to win this race." Blah, blah, blah. And then he leaves. And Misty's going, he's so mean, and we're going to beat him. And Brock's like, "Yeah, let's go." And then Lara's like misty-eyed looking into the distance being like, "We'll see what kind of a trainer he is tomorrow."
Mm,
And it's like, what?
I see.
But none of that gets resolved.
Yeah, I take that as like her challenging herself, and this is her biggest rival. So
Yeah, I
the
guess.
misty-eyed, I think, is her envisioning herself winning the trophy.
Maybe.
So I think I didn't see any love in this.
I guess I just wanted it. Maybe it's the line read or something, but I wanted it to come across a little bit more determined. But the way
Yeah.
she said it made it seem like this a strange longing, or like, what's happening? Are they actually siblings? And there's like a weird thing, or I don't know.
the mystery.
I think I have more expectations for. I mean, each episode is packed with a lot of stuff, and yet what I think is going to happen doesn't happen.
That is Pokemon. But also, Brock does not disappoint. With him trying to befriend Lara Laramie.
Yeah, we
So
get a good Brock.
There is a love connection lost there.
And
But
what I love about Brock and his obsession with girls is that he really changes for each one.
Mhm.
Like Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny, he is a certain way. With Lara, he like becomes Southern. He has like a Southern accent.
Howdy, ma'am. Yeah.
Right. He's like,
in there.
oh, you're like, shucks, you're so cute, whatever.
You're so purty.
Yeah. And so I just love that he really adapts to every girl's need.
Which they say you shouldn't do, but ultimately we all do need to adapt to each situation. And we all are slightly a different part of ourselves or a different growth of ourselves. I'm not sure.
And each girl brings out a different side of Brock. And I think that's nice. We get to see him as a full, complete being.
In some ways, yes.
Yeah. At the end of each episode, we're learning more. So it's the night of the party. Everybody's hanging out. And then Dario comes over and says, Lara, you got to get over. Your Tauros are going crazy. And so we all rush over to the ranch to see the Tauros, who have been whipped into a frenzy.
It's a huge melee.
Yes. And I guess
a tornado of Tauros.
To answer the question that I had earlier, Growlithe calms them down.
Growlithe is like the sheepdog.
Exactly.
Who's herding the Tauros.
Yeah.
And gets them to, calm down, stop this. It's all that huge classic dirt cloud that surrounds them, and they're having a stampede on one another in a circle, basically, in a clump. But then Lara is thrown off of her Ponyta.
Yeah, something shiny comes out and like hits Ponyta or something, and Lara gets bucked from the saddle.
And hurts her arm.
And hurts her arm.
And in this, right then, we find out that Dario is in cahoots with Team Rocket.
Yes.
And
the drama.
Yes, that they basically, it's a quid pro quo.
Yeah.
That you get what you want, we'll get what we want.
Now, I'm not really sure in that sense what each of them gets, because if Dario wins, he becomes the member of the Laramie clan. But then what do Team Rocket get? Because then they also think that they're going to get in with Laramie too.
They'll probably win something.
Maybe prize money. That's what they want. Or
just pride.
Yeah. Or, access to the Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But so they are being evil. And it actually seems like it's going to work this time because they've got more of a plan. Or so it seems.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Lara can't ride Ponyta.
Right.
And Ash already knows that Ponyta does not like anyone but Lara.
Right.
Because you touch Ponyta and you literally do get burned.
Because its whole mane is flames.
And tail.
Right. And body. Like the flames are on its body too or something.
Maybe that's mane hair that's just long. I don't know. But it has flames kind of around its neck too. It needs a little shave or something, but it doesn't. It's wild. It's a wild.
It's tame only for Lara.
That's right. And so Ash, she says, Ash, you have to ride Ponyta in the race tomorrow.
In my honor.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't. And
it'll burn me.
Yes, you can. And then Misty and Brock are like, Ash, we're going to support you.
Yes.
And Pikachu goes, Pika. And so Ash goes, okay, let's do this. And he still gets burned.
On Ponyta like a real horse rider.
Right. And gets
burned. He's been doing it his whole life and gets burned.
But then Lara says,
hi,
Ponyta, you have to do this for me. And basically, like, if you win, then you, with another rider, you prove that you're the best Pokemon ever. They said Pokemon in that too,
and
so that's why I said that.
Then Ponyta says,
And this is what I also find interesting, is Ponyta is like the only Pokemon so far that doesn't say its name.
No, it just neighs.
Just is a horse.
It nods and neighs.
Yeah, it has beautiful eyes.
It does. And
its
those flames
are very, there's a lot of shots where Ponyta is just staring into the camera. Or like into your eyes. And it's so like, wow, it's so beautiful.
Okay,
very horse-like. So anyway,
next day,
Ash earns the trust of Ponyta and gets to ride it. And so we have a little bit of silliness with Ash learning to kind of ride a horse. And then
he gets
race
thrown
day.
off kind of, and now holding on to the burning tail.
Hilarious, yeah.
Yelling a lot of,
There's a lot of those reactions
which is
in this
wonderful.
episode. Yeah, I thought
wonderful
that was
to play.
Fun. So fun. So it's race day, and everybody is riding their Pokemon.
Is sitting on Pokemon. Yeah. All types of Pokemon.
How is Misty on Starmie? That's what I want to know.
She kind of stands.
It's like a chariot, but where is the platform?
Foothold in the back.
Where? Anyway.
On one of the arms, I think.
Or maybe if Starmie's like curved, it kind of works like that. Anyway.
She's kind of like a gymnast anyway, so she can do anything.
That's true. Maybe she's not wearing shoes.
I found it so humorous that everyone is sitting on a Pokemon, all different sizes. And so, again, another message I guess we do get from this is that in that sense, it doesn't matter how big your Pokemon is or how strong or I don't know how many legs it even has. Your Pokemon can enter the race. You too can enter the race and be a part of this. And I thought that was pretty cool. It's very inclusive.
That reminds me, we just saw this movie about this Icelandic soccer team.
Oh, right.
And their ethos in this town for their team was that anybody could play. And girls, boys, they're all on the same team of all ages and all skill level. And that reminds me of that. That was a big part of their mentality was if you'd like to play, you can. There are no rules in that sense.
It was in the Sydney Film Festival called The Home Game.
Yeah.
And I really think we both can say we recommend it wholeheartedly. It was a beautiful movie, a documentary.
Yeah.
And so enjoyable and so funny and such a great message.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so much more than that, but that tiny aspect of this team really sticks out to me in that moment because that's their whole point.
Everybody can do it. Well, since we're talking about that, we also saw Copa 71, which is about the Women's World Cup in 1971 in Mexico. And this was a time when women were allowed to play in the World Cup and then not afterward. So without giving too much away about this documentary, I also do recommend that. The point is, these women were amazing, and it was all business that then kept them from not playing after that. So again, equality is what it does come down to that everybody deserves a chance and everybody get a foot in the game.
Right.
Get your head in the game, as they say in High School Musical.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so the race, everybody's racing. And I think that's the thing too, is that it's a competition, but it also is just fun. You know, everybody's just having fun. So Misty is on her Starmie and Brock is on Onyx. Pikachu is on Squirtle.
Hilarious.
Just so good. So the race starts and there is some sabotage going on.
Yes. And who's doing it?
Who could be doing it?
Who could be?
But Team Rocket.
And Dario a little.
Dario,
holding the reins.
Dario is the ringleader of this operation. But so Team Rocket is kind of taking down Pokemon one by one. So they shoot a Tauros. They what is that? Catapult, or I can't remember the name of that. But they shoot a rock at a Tauros, and then
the Tauros start to battle each other again.
Yeah, and then they dig a hole for an electrode, and the electrode falls into a hole, which is like their signature move.
Yeah, it was rolling madly down the hill.
Yeah.
Fell in and then exploded.
It exploded, and you think Ash and Ponyta are going to be done. They're out of the race.
But no.
But Pikachu comes and shocks them, and they're back.
The interesting thing there, too, is that Squirtle is being pushed up the hill by Pikachu, and they're really struggling.
Yeah.
So they've gotten to the top, and I guess they roll down pretty fast to help save the day with the electrode.
Yeah. And then an interesting part of this race is that they have a lunch break built in.
Oh my gosh, my favorite for sure.
Every Pokemon must eat an entire bowl of food before continuing. It's hilarious.
Before that, they had to cross a river, which canceled Geodude and Brock out. But Squirtle, Pikachu, Starmie, Misty, and then Ash, Ponyta, and also
Dodrio.
Dario and Dodrio. They are all in. But the fact that they all have to jump down and eat this bowl of food, and that's part of the competition, hilarious.
It's really good. And then all of a sudden, smoke blows over the course. Oh, right, because Dario, his Dodrio, the three heads are fighting over who gets to eat the food first. And so he is kind of feeling the pressure of falling behind. So he gets Team Rocket to
the old
do their
trick.
Next move, right away.
Don't the three heads have
some
meaning?
So the three heads stand for joy, sadness, and anger.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think is so
Who started the fight?
I don't know. Probably anger. Or sadness because it's depressed that it won't get to eat.
Or maybe joy because
it's so happy
it wanted
for food.
to eat, but the food is bad.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
But if it's on the Laramie Ranch, I mean, they're breeders, so the food's got to be good.
That's true. It's like a spa,
Totally.
in a sense. Well, isn't it interesting that you've got the 3 heads, which kind of have basic emotions, that the basic 3 that we all have. You have the 3 tails of the Tauros. You have the 3 of Team Rocket, the 3 of Ash, Misty, Brock. I don't think Dario, maybe Dario, Lara, and Ponyta.
Maybe. Or like Lara, Ponyta, and Growlithe.
Oh, yeah,
are
maybe.
like a team.
That's true, too. But it's interesting, the 3s in this.
It is.
And that you can play, just like with the emotions, you play the characters off of one another, and you kind of need them all, a good mix of them all.
Yeah. So the smoke blows over, and basically Team Rocket come and say, we want to take your Pokemon. Same old thing, and a battle ensues. And Team Rocket actually are pretty good. I feel like since their Pokemon evolved, they have gotten a little bit better. Like with Ekans and, is it Wheezing or Coughing? Coughing is the new one, right? So Wheezing.
Coughing. I don't know.
I was going to look it up.
I wasn't
and
paying
I forgot.
attention to that. I just always say coughing, and that's all. So I don't know.
Oh, no, Ekans. It's Arbok,
right.
Isn't it?
Arbok was in this one.
Arbok is new. And, okay, well, you guys know. But the point is, I feel like since they've evolved, they've gotten better. Like they did the sludge attack and the gaze thing. And anyway, I just feel like they're putting up more of a fight.
Unfortunately, they choose poison gas.
Yeah, because Ponyta starts to flame. It starts to like erupt into flame. And then, of course, let's say Wheezing or Coughing, one of them, does the poison gas and flame do not mix.
No.
And they get blown into the sky.
Right. They've blasted off again.
Yes. So it ends just as quickly as it began. But they did put up a good
try.
fight. They did a good try. And, I feel like we're making moves. We're making progress.
And now we just have Ash and Dario left.
Yeah. And Dario is like running down the track. And
really well.
Ponyta comes flaming, literally blazing down the track. It's the last
hurrah, the last gasp.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the race.
And then Dario says, Dodrio, do your thing. And it like pokes Ponyta.
Yeah.
That is unfair. So
it gives it a peck with one of its beaks.
Yes. And
Rapidash Ponyta falls back and it looks bad.
In a twist of events, Ponyta evolves into Rapidash. Mid-race, which I would think is kind of hard because I guess you would know what Ponyta evolves into, but that's like, you're calling it, you're like, okay, Ponyta, let's go. And then it evolves into something else. And what if Ash didn't know what that was?
He just hangs on and rides.
Because he goes Rapidash, but he didn't know what Ponyta was in the beginning. So that would be confusing.
You know how when you are studying for a test and you have to put the answers under your pillow or your notebook under your pillow to sleep on it so all the answers seep into your head?
Yes.
Well, it's probably the same here where he slept on Dexter, or he just having it in his pocket, the information is seeping into him.
And maybe since Ponyta evolved while he was riding it, maybe that knowledge, maybe you evolve also.
How often have you been on a run and when they have that runner's high, when you are running and you're so tired and then you find that second wind and you just kind of go into that free run space, or when you're creating an art project or something, when suddenly you've gotten through the trudging and then it all opens up and you can go on for a while. I feel like that is we see that in this evolution, that Ponyta really just pulled it all out and now is just flying, literally, with those kind of flaming leg warmers it's wearing and the unicorn-type horn on its head. And it's just amazing. And it's achieving its greatness.
Yeah. I bet the horn helps with
steering.
Yeah, but like cutting through the air,
Yes, that's true.
Like helps to... What word am I thinking of?
You should not ask me because I have no vocabulary anymore.
I don't know why. It's that thing of when you start, then your mind just goes blank. I'm having that all the time these days.
Now, because we're in too many places and too many time zones.
Yeah.
And we exist in the moment, which is the same as Ash, Brock, and Misty.
Absolutely.
They exist in the moment they're in. They don't think about what they didn't accomplish, or they don't think about what's ahead.
Mm-hmm.
They're just in the moment. And I think that's one of the things that we can take away from their journey and also this episode is that sometimes you just have to be in the moment.
Yeah, and ready for anything.
That's right.
And
ready
able
to jump
say
in.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel comfortable with that. I think luckily Ash has friends who are so supportive that it allows him to just be free and say, yes, okay, let's do it, without having to feel so weighed down by, self-doubt or responsibility, because he's got his friends who can hold his backpack for him while he's racing.
You need someone to hold your backpack, and you need to be able to trust yourself and just jump in and say, yeah, I can do this.
And luckily Ash is good jockey height.
That's right, he is.
So he's like perfectly built for this because he's so short.
That's right. He might go into professional Ponyta racing.
Maybe that's what he's doing now.
I don't know.
He's doing jockeying.
Yes, while he's off his journey, the master returns.
Exactly. I think the two fun things that were little fun things for me to see at the end of this episode was that the finish line said cool. Mm-hmm. Instead of like finish line or finish or goal, which I think you're right. I think maybe that's what it was supposed to say, but it said cool, which I think maybe we should change that for the Olympics. Put cool at the end, because it's kind of a fun, like, cool, you finished,
It's winning is a feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like, it's not exciting, but it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Sure.
Next. What's next?
Yeah, exactly. And then my last favorite thing was at the end when somehow Dario has Team Rocket tied up, which is unfair because they did a lot to help him. And he's like, you are terrible. I hate you. And then they're like, we'll try better next time. And James goes, yeah, maybe you can get better riding clothes.
Oh,
and Meowth
I didn't even hear that.
Meowth goes, and give that bird a bath.
I know. And then the Dodrio starts pecking them.
But I just think that's so funny. I mean, they are very fashion forward, Team Rocket.
Totally.
They're always talking about fashion, and they do have great clothes. So they've got to keep that. How do they keep their clothes so white?
I don't know. Maybe Giovanni does the laundry.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
My gosh, so many questions.
I know so much.
This was a good episode. I'm feeling the yeehaw spirit.
I am too. It was really fun, and there were a lot of Pokemon in it, and it wasn't so violent for me. I just loved the challenge.
Well, running is good.
Running is good.
And racing is always fun, so.
Well, I think this is a good time for the Poke Wrap Up,
where we hear from you, the Pokemon community.
We asked you to send in your Pokemon memories, stories, and inspirations.
And here are two of this week's. First, we have an interview that I did with Courtney of Gamer Girls in the Philippines. And she is very inspirational. They've started this group where they have girls playing video games. It's very empowering. And I got the chance to talk to her during a press event in Manila. And so this is the audio from that.
Hello, my name is Corbs. I am the co-founder of Gamer Girls Philippines, the pioneer all-female gaming community across all gaming platforms. So currently we have like over 7,000 plus members. I think we're closing to 8,000. And I was just talking about the story of how Gamer Girls Philippines came to be. So it started from the very beginning when I was still super young. I think it was the first season of Pokemon, and we still have those DVDs and stuff. So that made me fall in love with video games, and that love for video games evolved into inspiring me and my partner Abby, my love for Pokemon, and then her love for video games. So that inspired us to create Gamer Girls Philippines, to create a safe haven for all gamer girls here in the Philippines. So yeah. All right, so my favorite Pokemon game would be maybe Sun and Moon, or maybe Pokemon Moon, because that was what I was able to buy with my first ever adult money. So the first time I earned my 13th-month bonus for working, that's what I did. I bought my own DS and I bought that game. So I played that for so long, and then I tried like 6 hours to catch a Lapras or something like that. So yeah. And then shout out to my Pokemon Go friends. So yeah.
And next up is Katie.
Hello, this is Katie, 31, from New York, and I've been watching Pokemon ever since it first aired. Rapidash has been my favorite Pokemon ever since. I love the message behind earning its trust and you won't get burnt. I also love in the opening when it flies up into the sky. Rena and Veronica, thank you for the podcast. Bye.
Thanks, Court and Katie, for being a part of this episode this week. And we want to hear from all of you.
Email us a short recording or write to us at trainersguidepod@gmail.com.
And try to keep it short, maybe 30 seconds or so, because we don't want to have to edit.
Oh, and please include your first name and where you're from.
Well, that about wraps up today's episode of The Trainer's Guide. And, as they say, to be continued. We hope that you continue to join us on this journey that is The Trainer's Guide.
As you know, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you're listening now.
And if you subscribe, comment, and rate the podcast, it helps others find the show and keeps us on the air.
Thank you so much in advance for your generosity and all of your amazing support.
Trainer's Guide is a production of Boom Integrated.
We are co-executive producing this along with
the amazing Adrian Glover
and the incomparable Robin Lai. I'm your host, Veronica Taylor.
And I'm your host, Rena Taylor.
And this has been The Trainer's Guide. We'll see you out there on the road.